Hello and welcome. I'm Nick and I love mushrooms. Recently I went to the Notecka forest in Poland where I spent the day filming myself, identifying and collecting various commonly found edible mushrooms. Although I was in Poland, these mushrooms can be commonly found all over Europe and in fact into North America and Asia too. So in the video you'll see how to identify these species, good technique for collecting them, and also certain mushrooms which you'll want to avoid. I've been foraging mushrooms in the UK and in Poland for 3 years now, so I feel like I've learned enough knowledge that I can pass on, and hopefully after watching this video you'll feel inspired and maybe you can go out there and pick some mushrooms for yourself. Enjoy the video. I have my basket, I have my knife, I also have my stick. This is really useful for beating away any spider webs. It's currently 10:30 in the morning. I've been staying in a Airbnb next to a lake, so we woke up at sunrise and went for a swim. A very nice start to the day. So I've just cut through it just so you can see my method, and the method is just to see if there's any bugs in there and if it's looking good. It looks okay. I mean, it's not the best, but yeah, I'll probably keep that. We can dry it and eat it over winter. Put my sunglasses there for a size comparison. This is beautiful sep, and you can tell it's a sep because it has pretty dark cap, and the stipe or the stem is very pale, and also underneath the pores, you'll see when I cut it, the pores are quite pale. They'll start off white, and as they get older they'll turn a nice yellowy, strawy yellow. So all of this stuff at the bottom, just clearing the way. This is where the fruiting body comes out, and you might even see some of the mycelium down here. We're just going to cut it nice and close. Hope so. We want to take as much of this because it's looking in really good condition. So I could just pull it, I could twist and pull. I'm just going to cut it just so you can see how clean and beautiful this mushroom is. Would you look at that? That is just perfect. I'm very happy with that one. This looks like it might be a Birch Bolete. As you can see, this has a sort of darker, sort of speckled lines, sort of like a net, I think they call it. I'm 100% on that. That's definitely a Birch Bolete, as you can see from the dark black on the stem. you want to take that off before cooking it. Also has a nice dark brown cap and white underneath. In this forest we're mostly pine, but there's a few birch like that one, so that goes in the basket. One of the things about Polish forests, when you compare them with English forests, we live in London, so it's just a nightmare to find anywhere that has mushrooms as good as Poland. And as you can see, this is a vast forest. We're at the edge of the forest here, but you know, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And there's so much space to walk around. And there's a load of diversity. I mean, but just the quantity of mushrooms is incredible. No idea what this is. Oh, that could be what Kasia's looking for. She called it ryż, which is like a saffron milkcap. Don't immediately see any more around. But anyway, as I was saying, well, we'll bring that to Kasia and see what she thinks. In you go. Alright, we're back, and this is why it's a great idea to come off the beaten track. 1, 2, 3. Lovely big Porcini mushrooms. Look at the size of that thing. Beautiful, isn't it? It looks like it's been a little bit eaten. I'm going to show you another method for getting these out the ground, and that's just pulling. The only problem with this is we're now going to have to cut off all of that stuff so they can go in here without the dirt getting on all the others. This is an interesting bolete. So you can tell it's a bolete because it's got a nice meaty cap, stipe, and then tellingly these are pores instead of gills. And I'm gonna take this. I'm not sure what it is. It's got the black sort of netting like a Birch Bolete, but then the top of it looks a bit like what I'd call a cow bolete, or it might be like a pepper bolete or something like that. Anyway, I'm going to take it for further analysis back home because I forgot my mushroom book stupidly. Also, I'm going to take this opportunity to just show you the biodiversity here. So we've got little ants rolling around, and we also got like little, can you see it? A little different fungus, which I'm not. There's so many mushrooms, guys. I'm not an expert at all on any of these. I'm mostly going for the boletes because I know what they are mostly. This, I think, is a kind of russula, but again, you know, I've only been really doing this for a few years, and there's just so much to learn. So you have to always identify what it is before you pick it. That, for instance, is Amanita muscaria, which is very hallucinogenic if you eat that. Again, you're not going to want to eat too much of it. Do your research before you do any of that stuff. Another thing I wanted to show you was just have a look at the soil here. That is so different from a British forest. That's just sand. You know, in Britain you're going to just have mud in most places. This is really common in Poland. You know, just a couple of centimeters below the surface, you've got the moss growing on it, and the mushrooms just seem to love it. I don't know, my working theory is that maybe the mycelium finds it easier to work its way through sand, but again, I couldn't be too sure. Okay, look at those pores, they're white. That's a lovely light colour. So I'm going to take that and we're going to identify it at home before we do anything with it. This is Amanita muscaria. I just thought I'd show you because you don't want to mess with this mushroom. Otherwise known as fly agaric in English, or sometimes just a toadstool. It's easily identifiable, has a red cap, flat, well, at different stages it looks different. So here it has a sort of umbrella cap. It starts off life as a kind of white egg actually, and these bits are the remnants of it. This will cause hallucinations in small quantities and liver and kidney failure in larger quantities. That's why you don't want to mess with it. People, I think they boil it. Some people anyway, if they want to get high. It has white gills underneath, and this bit here is the remnants of the egg. So it sort of bursts and opens like an umbrella. Public service announcement. Don't mess with this. The fly Agaric, or Amanita Muscaria. Okay guys, so I've brought us inside the fairy ring. The fairy ring of Amanitas. This is what it looks like as a young mushroom, and then it flattens out, or it becomes dome shaped, and finally becomes a bit flat, and sometimes it even turns inside out. But as I say, it's a good indicator that it's a healthy forest, because it has a, what's the word, a symbiotic relationship with other mushrooms. So you'll often find other nice mushrooms that you will want to eat here. This is a nice surprise. I call this cauliflower mushroom. I think there's another one called coral mushroom. I get them confused a bit. Don't see it all too often, and it's really good and firm. This one's a little old because it's turned orange and it's brown at the rim. You want to find it when it's white, ideally, and that's my shoe next to it. It's not very big. Actually, that in a soup, you know, like a creamy broth, that's really good. So yeah, I'm not going to collect this one because, as I say, it's a bit old, doesn't look that good. But down here you can see what it looked like when it was younger, and yeah, if I find another one, I'm definitely taking that. Cauliflower mushroom. Doesn't taste like cauliflower, just has a good texture. It's like Birch Bolete. The stem or stipe is darker than Porcini or Sep or penny bun, whatever you want to call it. That's three names for one thing. The Birch Bolete is the second best in the forest, in my opinion. Looks pretty good. Try not to get too much of that stipe because the flesh can be good. Right, looks in. I'm just going to cut this and have a look at the end. I have to look at it from this end. You can actually see it's not in that good condition, unfortunately. The bugs have been at it, so there's quite a few holes there. So yeah, I would imagine this is going to go the whole way through the stem. That was very sad, because that was a nice looking mushroom from the top. And the final test we can do, once we get in focus, is just cut it right down the middle. And then have a look inside. And you can see, whilst it's not the worst, it's also not the best. You can see some worms have been there. Frankly, I've got a pretty full basket, and I'm going to leave that behind. Very sad. But there are many more mushrooms in this forest. Yeah, I'm going to show you the difference between Porcini, otherwise known as sep or penny bun. The difference between that and a bay bolete. So that's a bay bolete, and that's a penny bun. And a bay bolete looks like a bay leaf, supposedly, from the top, and has quite a dark sort of yellow and red brown stipe. Underneath it's kind of yellowy, maybe a bit more yellowy even than the penny bun. Although actually this penny bun has a slightly darker yellow, and that's just because of its age, I think. Yeah, again, not in the best condition, sadly, but you can see big telltale is the stipe colour, which is much more white and pale. And what else can I say? Yeah, I mean, this is the king of the forest. Not this one in particular. This is more of a duke or a prince because of its poor condition, or just sort of a distant nephew of the king. This one has its own fiefdom. This is like Monaco. Okay, I'm hoping this is a better example of the penny bun. It looks in slightly better condition. A little bit of dirt on top, that's okay. Give it a pat, that's looking good. So the giant one that I found earlier near the car, that was a penny bun. So that's been my best find today. But, oh, the day's not over yet. Okay, now we're talking. There's a few bugs there. I can just blow on those to get rid of those. But the condition underneath looks pretty good. Quite happy with that. So now I'm just gonna give it a clean. Let's see if my mushroom tripod is gonna work today. There we go. Okay. So this is my cleaning station. Where's the camera? Camera's here. Give that. Trying to not lose too much of the flesh. Gosh, I'm really bad at filming this. There we go. Trying to not lose too much of the flesh here. But we want to get rid of that dirt, because in the basket, all that dirt's going to go inside and affect the rest of the mushrooms. So before it goes in the basket, give it a nice clean. Bit of a blow, and then just going to give it a cut across section so we can see if there has been any worms tunneling inside it, and that looks good. So I'm happy with that one. That is the penny bun, king of the forest. There you go. Okay, a couple more things to say about the penny bun. Is it will generally have a thicker stipe. The stipe is the bit that I'm holding at the moment, than other boletes, and bolete is the genus. So let's have a look in here. Well, basically the stipe can get quite thick, And the other thing to say about it is they'll generally grow in clusters, and that's because most of the organism is below the ground. So when you see one, you'll generally see others. That's actually a bay bolete. But you'll want to stay where you are, just have a look around. Sure, I saw another one. Maybe over here. But isn't this forest just so bountiful? I mean, look at that. In 30 seconds, I just found 5. Little baby one here. 6. I'm gonna let that one grow. That can be for someone else. It looks like a lot of mushrooms, but really, there's plenty to go around. I am leaving some though. The host of our Airbnb has said he wants to come here, so he'll probably come in a few days, and I'll just leave ones like this, or like this one, to just grow. And in a few days' time, they're going to be growing the size of this, if the weather stays good. So yeah, I haven't even gone over that hill yet. The forest is huge. I found the king of the forest. This is the perfect penny bun. It's so beautiful. It has a mottled, they don't all have mottled caps, but the underside is very white, as you can see. And the stipe is also quite white and very thick. So it's a good size. And I found a good few sizable ones just like that. But this has more yellow on it, and it may be a bay bolete. This one is for sure a penny bun, Sep Porcini, Boletus Edulis in Latin. Man, I don't know much about mushrooms, but what I do know is just completely useless. You can find out all about these names and things. I would recommend using books because they're peer-reviewed for the most part, but I've found Reddit to be very useful. And if you don't know anything, you can just post a picture and say, what is it? Or, you know, just spend time on it and get to know and familiarize yourself with the different varieties of mushrooms. But that, my friends, is a very perfect example of Porcini, Boletus Edulis, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, I hope some of this has been entertaining, informational for you. And yeah, if you like it, maybe I'll make another one. But this is probably going to be the best one I'll ever make because it's in a Polish forest. No, I won't say that. There's plenty of amazing mushrooms out there. Anyway, I'll leave it here. Leave a comment if you like it. Like and subscribe, that's what you're supposed to say. Okay, thank you for watching. Okay, walking back to the car now, and this is my meager basket. And Kasia's going to show you hers.
I'm just really tired from carrying it around. You know?
Oh, the best mushrooms are under here.
Is this gonna be on your vlog?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
The makeup is immaculate.
Swisher.
What are you gonna do with all those pills?
I think you look a bit like her. What's she singing about?
We run through the boulevard, maybe Boulevard of Stars, and everybody's alone. Only God knows the way.
Kasia, a tego nie wiedziałem, a teraz zobacz. A planety szaleją, śpiewa taką piosenkę, nie? Chora. O. Jako 4-letnia dziewczyna.